my sweet God. I feel like I want to become a Christian because I think I need Jesus in my life. Shit. So, I was asked my opinion on the Xbox Scorpio reveal. I was keeping tabs on it, and obviously I've done videos on it, but I sort of stopped after a certain point, you noticed. And then when all the hype was going on, where it's like, oh, Xbox news is coming, the Xbox news is coming, oh my God.
Give us some information without sharing who it is that's saying this. And I'm like, okay, you know, I'll talk a little bit. So I admit I was talking to someone that I know who's a developer the other day, and we were talking a little bit about, you know, he was trying to help me out because he heard my little rant on Xbox Nation about how I'm not really that technical where it comes to a lot of the PC stuff and things like that. So he was trying to explain to me why it was kind of irrelevant. Give us some information without sharing who it is that's saying this. And I'm like, okay.
If I sound tired or lethargic, it's because I was trying to research this video. I was trying to gather the information needed to truly convey what I want to present to you and explain. The problem with overhyping and brand loyalty. Unfortunately, in doing so, I have drained myself of the will to live. I forced myself to watch crap gamer videos.
Battlefront 2 probably won't run 4K 60 on Scorpio because it's, you know, that Frostbite 3 is a tough engine, blah, blah, blah. It's a resource hog. And now when you look at it, I realize now that, yes, they're using DirectX 12 probably from the ground up, and it's going to be 4K native, 60 frames per second. I would assume that Battlefield 1 will get that 4K 60 frames per second patch. Obviously, Gears 4, what they mentioned. There's going to be a lot of games that are going to be running 4K 60 frames per second, and I think that's absolutely phenomenal. And it's not just a resolution bump. You're going to get, it helps perform better as well. Like, the whole thing with DirectX 12 is, that's what it does. It gives you, like, great effects. It can help your console, you know, help the games perform better frames per second. It can help with resolution in some instances. So I think it can't be undersold how brilliant this is and what a technical marvel this is.
Hey, pal. You just blowing from Stupid Town?
I forced myself to watch Xbox 720.
Of off-the-shelf AMD parts. There's customization here, deep customization, and a lot of it. So Scorpio is a mid-gen refresh, right?
Oh, wait, what did he say, crap? So we ain't got to hit no more?
He said it's a mid-gen refresh. It's not a new console. It's not a generational leap. It's a mid-gen refresh.
Okay, so we can, you know, so it's actually Scorpio versus the PS4 Pro. So when Sony does release the PlayStation 5, it's, you know, I mean, it's not the Scorpio's, competitor. It will be a full-fledged ninth generation console. You know what they've been saying, you know, Craig, here too. You know, there's no shit because Microsoft had the whole ass and come up with the ninth generation. So even if they're saying, you know, this guy here, you know, they've been, you know, kind of pro Sony, this, but I'm not even getting into that. But he's saying, he's confirming that this is a mid-gen refresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not using a Ryzen CPU like we wanted them to use. They're using a Jaguar CPU. Now I've heard a few people say, "Oh, it's not a Jaguar CPU. It's its own CPU. It's an x86 CPU." It derives from Jaguar, so it's using the Jaguar architecture. So it is what it is. Now Microsoft is not going to allow Digital Foundry to say it's a Jaguar if it's not a freaking Jaguar, okay? So it is a Jaguar. However, it is a highly customized Jaguar. Now they customize it for a low latency, coherency, and it's just really well optimized. And they actually put a physical hardware piece there on the command processors for the CPU to talk to the GPU.
Niggas don't understand what you're saying, D. Niggas do not understand.
Basically, they put a DX12 brain in the Xbox Scorpio that instead of the computer needing thousands of commands to talk to the GPU,
like
it only needs 11 instructions. So right there, to me, that negates it not having Ryzen because they put a special DX12 hardware chip in the system.
I hate when these consoles come out, only because the hype train that comes with them. The hype it's egregious, it's appalling. When these hype trains get in full swing, the console gamers tear at each other like piranha. Nigel here, showing you Footage of console gamers caught in the wild. As you can see, Phil Spencer has fed the Xbox fans today a delicious treat called Xbox Scorpio specs. As you can see here, they are ferocious. Their avaricious appetite cannot be sated. They need more console news for the Xbox Scorpio, each bite more filling than the next. It invigorates them. It makes them feel as if they are accomplished or fulfilled in some way that they couldn't have in their personal lives. Look at it. Delicious. Tear at that meat. There is no thought, there is no rhyme, there is no reason. You're either on the blue side or the green side. Now the Xbox 720, now the Xbox PC, Now the Xbox Project Scorpio has been shown by Digital Foundry, and they have given an in-depth look to the system. They also said that it featured 4K 60 FPS gaming on Forza, or 4K like. I'm not going to watch the video for a fourth time to make sure I have it correct. If I'm wrong, eat me. And forgive me for being lethargic about it. I already know the console specs. Xbox and the Xbox fan train was originally swearing up and down they weren't using the Jaguar CPU. We're not using that. And it turns out they are. They're using a customized version of the Jaguar CPU. Due to the software changes in the Xbox, they have reduced CPU overhead. That's good, considering it's a fucking Jaguar CPU. They kinda need to. So, happy days, I guess. The custom Jaguar CPU that isn't a Jaguar CPU according to Xbox fans, but it is a Jaguar CPU according to Digital Foundry. The GPU is a modified RX 480. Yay. Well, you know, the RX 480 is leaps and bounds better than what the Xbox and PlayStation 4 had beforehand, no doubt about it. But still, whoopee. The RX 480, it's the budget GPU. I mean, if you don't have the money for anything with more weight, the RX 480 is for you. It's not a bad GPU, but it isn't exactly a GPU that's world-burning. It was built to be a budget GPU. So we'll call this the RX 480X. Now, the thing that bothers me is the Kool-Aid drinking, where the Xbox fanboys have been putting out misinformation yet again. Now, they've been doing this long before the Xbox Scorpio was coming out. I was a victim to many pointless, stupid messages where I was told I was a fool because the Xbox was going to use Ryzen and Vega. And you can't argue with these people, man. It's just like arguing with like religious conservatives. It's fucking pointless, dude. Jesus was the son of God. His eyes were blue. He was white as snow. His hair was beautiful sandy brown. And he died for your sins. And dinosaurs were just bones the Jews buried during the Holocaust. At least that's what the nun told me in Catholic school. Back to my point, as I tried to let these Xbox fans know that it was just impossible for this system to have Ryzen in it. The Ryzen CPU, even the cheapest one, the 1700, is what, $329 or more? That's 70% of the Xbox Scorpio's price. Not happening. And a Vega, really bitch? A Vega GPU? Come now. Vega has to compete with the, GTX 1080. Hopefully it'll compete with the 1080 Ti. My fingers are crossed because Lord knows the market needs it. AMD, you better come the fuck through. But, odds are, we all know how it's probably going to play out. The Vega GPUs are going to come out. They're not going to be too amazing. Everyone's going to be let down. It'll lead to another one of these pissing contests between brand loyal douchebags. But that's another war and story for another time. We're talking about the Xbox Scorpio. So let's get back on point. One RX 480 will not play games at 4K motherfucking 60. It's just not going to happen. Sure, the Xbox Scorpio will have some games, most likely first party, that will play 4K native, maybe 60. If anything, we'll be dealing with the same shit we dealt with 1080p, where it was like dynamic super sampling, a resolution where 1 minute it's 1080p, but over here in this corner next to that box, it's 720p. Over here, you got 39 frames, but when you get too close to that damn box, it's 24 frames with dips to the 15, and Richard from Digital Foundry will sit there and go, "This is quite disappointing, because we had such high hopes for the console." Gundam, your impression of Richard sounds more like Bob Cratchit from a Charles Dickens novel. What do you want from me? I'm an American, and I'm not even a good one at that. Point being, this isn't happening. For the Xbox Scorpio to do 4K 60, it would have to Shit, you'd have to get like 2 Xbox Scorpios, rip one of them open, and put the other GPU inside your first Xbox Scorpio, and have enough fortitude or mental capacity to somehow jerry-rig the thing to do Crossfire. But it's not possible. I'm sorry, I'm crazy. But anyway, the RX 480 Crossfire only does 4K 60 in Battlefield 1, and I think they could achieve 4K 60. Actually, the frame rates fluctuate on the new Sniper Elite game. That's it, or whatever that sniper game is. Those are the only 2 I can think of off the top of my head. Everything else I've looked up was around 30 FPS in Crossfire. Like, what the fuck? And you want me to sit here and believe that the Xbox somehow magically is going to just do what a single 480 can't do on a PC with a better CPU, better cooling, better airflow, etc. Like, come on, guys, don't buy the hype. I know you want to believe that you can get some amazing, fantastic hardware deal that will give you the ability to play 4K gaming, even though most people don't have 4K monitors, but whatever. Let's say you got a 4K OLED TV. A lot of people seem to do that now. My OLED TV's ready for gaming, and it's like, why would you bother with that? If you're like trying to take first-person shooters seriously, don't fucking game on a goddamn OLED TV, asshole. Buy a 4K monitor, dude. Jesus, the latency would kill you. But you know what? Not my struggle. But anyway, they're trying to sell you on this ridiculous belief that this console can do a native 4K 60. If anything, Microsoft hasn't said that every game would be 4K 60. I know they said it would be the first true native 4K gaming console, which means you will get 4K visual fidelity, but much like 1080p with the Xbox One S, it'll be at a lesser visual fidelity, in a sense of like, you'll probably have 4K gaming, but shit'll be set to low and medium maybe. You know, that's what you're gonna get. It'll probably have dynamic resolution, meaning that it's 4K here, but it's not over there. And technically, Microsoft didn't lie to you. It does offer you native 4K, but they didn't say where and how long it would be. You see what I'm saying? And the other thing is, now that this has come up, I have to live with seeing these ridiculous comments from console fans who are now saying that the Xbox Scorpio can compete with PC. Not in your wildest dreams, dude. You're like the guys I meet out in the motorcycle meet, which I stopped going to. You know, these dudes would be fucking sitting on a Yamaha R1 telling me that all the work they've done on their bike is just as fast as a MotoGP bike. And I'm sitting there like, dude, you're fucking out of your goddamn gourd. You're out of it. This is a production-based machine. And you're trying to tell me that this production-based machine that you put your little fucking juice box on and your Two Brothers exhaust is now ready to run with the bulls in MotoGP. A fucking multi-million-dollar RC, whatever the F called, because the Honda factory bike has such a long part skew, it's ridiculous. Like the chassis alone for the Honda was like, what, $800,000? You're out of your, oh my, get out of here. Get out of here, stop smoking pot. It's killing your brain cells. And the ones to blame for some of this, it also falls on the Xbox community.
A video showing some information, more specs than anything else. Boo! Boo! I'm sorry. Great video. I mean, I was looking into the details of it, and yes, I have a degree in computers, so yes, networking.
Work this thing. Yeah, it's the cool front. It's all cut off in here. Yeah, cool front, cool back. And I'm gonna show you guys what's inside this thing. All right, so this is the inside of the one.
Yes, I have a degree in computers, so yes, networking.
128 gigabyte solid state drive and a 2 terabyte 72 RPM SATA drive. And yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Pretty awesome. So yeah.
And at the same time, I can understand this technical jargon, but a lot of you were going to be like, blah, 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 blah. So yes, I am going to attempt to break down everything that was going on in this whole entire video and let you guys know my personal opinion on it. Okay, so the Xbox Scorpio is basically a console killer. It is this thing is a beast. Okay, they ain't lying. They went to Digital Foundry. They know their stuff. They are very thorough and they are very highly respected. And yes, they were blew away by this thing. They were blown away.
In an unorthodox move on my part, I shall be replying to this video simply because it's so damn stupid. Apparently the Xbox Scorpio is a console killer. Knowledge. Wow, Stone Fox, wherever you got your fucking degree in computers, dude, take that shit back and burn that fucking institution down because they robbed your ass.
Mind equals blown. That's exactly what they were. So the Xbox Project Scorpio, basically the console killers. So this thing is supposed to be due out sometime in the fourth quarter of 2017. We don't know the exact date on that yet. Still no information on that. But what we do have is a boatload of specs. Well, actually not really a boatload, just like a couple lines.
Thank God for Stone Fox. How could we make sense of the Digital Foundry video if not for him? This whole time I had no idea that the Xbox was going to be launched in the fall. I mean, sure, they said it would happen at E3, they've been saying it for the past couple of months, but thank God for Stone Fox. You cleared this shit up for me, dude.
40 customized compute units at 1,172 megahertz compared to PlayStation 4 Pros at basically 911 megahertz. The memory is going to be 12 gigabytes of GDDR5. Ouch. That is compared to PlayStation 4 Pros, 8 gigabytes of GDDR5. That's a big deal. That is a very big deal. That is good. That is really good. That is really good.
Whoopee! It's really good. They have 12 gigabytes of GDDR5. Did you notice that the old Xbox used GDDR3, Stone Fox? I bet you didn't. I bet if you didn't have a piece of paper in front of your fucking face, you wouldn't know shit. Jesus Christ, yes, GDDR5, 12 gigabytes. I called it months ago when they showed the original SKU. On top of that, what is it, about 4 are saved for the OS? So it's more like 8 gigabytes of GDDR5 for the Xbox One over the PlayStation 4, which I believe has only 5 gigabytes to work with for games. Which, yes, this is a good thing for 4K textures and such. They're gonna need at least 6 to 8 gigabytes. Lottie freaking da. How are you breaking this shit down for me, Stone? Hello, who is your teacher? He needs to be slapped in the face. Let's see, Stone Fox, you're gonna pass this class because you're really good with your technical knowledge. You've made it very clear for everyone here. Your synopsis of it was really good, moved me deeply. I couldn't have put it better myself. God, now he's gonna tell us about memory bandwidth and he probably hasn't got any fucking clue what the fuck it means. Gundam, you're basing this off the fact he spent $6,000 or $7,000 on an Alienware computer. You're damn right I am.
I could bore you guys with all the random information about how this thing is going to have custom cooling, dubbed the, what is it called? The harvest method. The harvest method, which is basically going to allow this thing to stay nice and cool. This is a custom cooling system. It's got a great audio. This thing is going to have a 7.2. They officially moved to DirectX 3D12. So this thing is basically a powerhouse. Okay, this thing is a problem to any other console out there. It does.
See, Stone Fox go. The dude has an SLI 980 reference cards in his fucking computer. It doesn't even realize that the vapor chamber inside of the Xbox is the same fucking blower design we've seen forever. It's pretty much identical to the one that they use in the 1080 Ti. I think they've revised it a little bit. And I also noticed the copper plating stretches out over the VRAM as well. Like, if this thing was put on water, it'd be a little nicer on the heating, that's for fucking sure, but that's a goddamn given. Good lord, the man's looking in the vapor chamber and doesn't even realize it's the same tech we've been seeing from AMD for fucking years. They just gave it a new name, and people are like, ooh, let me rub my nips.
As you can see, they did provide Digital Foundry with an image of Forza, and it does look like this thing is running at 60 frames per second, and it's running at 4K, and it has power to spare. Look at that, 66.19%. This thing is running native 4K, and it's not like, basically this thing doesn't even care. Okay, they still got like 32% or something like that still left to spare, and that's actually running a game native 4K. Now I could bore you guys with all the random information about how this thing is going to have custom cooling.
And that was all I could do before I had too much Stone Fox media in my day and the cancer had moved its way to my liver. I now need to see a doctor about my chemotherapy. I'm starting next Monday. That was him breaking it down for you. Eloquent, wasn't it? He made it very clear, didn't he? He essentially told you the same information Digital Foundry did, but just so poorly it's pointless. Also, let's take into account that Digital Foundry had that screenshot. and they got to see the game working. It's not like they got to mess with the console. It's not like they got to check out the innards or do any benchmark. Now, here's the thing. Microsoft is in no way going to sit there and give them all the tidbits right then and there. Well, you know, here's our console. But here's the truth of the matter. This is 64K here, but when we get here, then the CPU starts to become stressed, let's say. But it probably won't, because the CPU isn't as much of a factor in 4K gaming. So let's say the GPU got a little stressed or something. Also, this is a first-party fucking game. First-party games are always the best optimized for said console. It's without a question. That's the whole point of first party. They have to squeeze out every drop of performance from that machine. And Richard at Digital Foundry himself did say that he did see the graphics card go up and down in its utilage. So we can't sit here and pretend that this thing is just doing amazingly well. It's beastly, it's godlike. Why are we treating this console like it's a god? We're treating the console like it's a goddamn deity. Like, really? What the fuck is wrong? Alright, let's save all of our Hail Marys for a little later. We all know how these consoles go. They sit there and they make huge ass promises, and then the console comes out and everybody's fucking pissed off. The Nintendo Switch. Come on. They wouldn't tell anybody that they said, oh, it was a custom Tegra chip in the Nintendo Switch. Then everybody got their hands on the Switch. It performed like shit under many circumstances. Somebody finally took it apart and found out, whoops, looks like they're just normal Tegra chips. Nintendo bullshitted us, and nobody's pissed except for a handful of people, and they've gotten over it, forgotten it, or traded in their shit. Who's to say this won't happen again? That is the whole point of these companies, to get you hyped out of your motherfucking mind for this console, so when it comes out, you run and buy it. And if you're not exactly 100% happy, they know 90% of people will just keep it rather than taking it back and getting a refund. They fucking know it. And even if you sell it, they still keep their fucking money. And you take the financial hit. Like, fuck, man. Jeez. I'm just saying, Microsoft is not going to let Digital Foundry know that there are flaws in that system yet. You know, we're going to find out when it comes out. Much like PS4, much like Xbox One, we all know that the chickens come to roost when the console comes the fuck out. Alright, I'm done now. I'll try and finish this video. I'm sorry if I seem very hostile. It's just, I spent so many hours going through all these videos and listening to this fucking madness, dude. More people who haven't got a full clue what the fuck they're talking about than a little bit. And this sort of like cheerleading for a company to the point of where it's startling, dude. Fuck, we're the dystopian nightmare now. This is no different than when the Xbox first came out, remember? And it was underpowered. You remember that? Of course you do. Don't pretend you don't. Oh my god, that was a dark period of time. The PlayStation 4 is kicking the shit out of the Xbox, and the Xbox fans were sitting there going, "Oh, it's not about the visual fidelity, you know. It's not about like, it doesn't matter if it's not 1080p or 900p. It's about the games." And now that everything's 4K, you got crap gamer running around saying wacky ass shit like...
Obviously, native 4K is going to help you become a better gamer. So I think if you're one of those gamers that wants to be a better gamer, and we all want a GG, right? Like, let's be honest. We all want a GG. And I think that native 4K allows us to do that. And why it does that is because the picture is clearer, obviously. You're going to have better performance, which is going to help you become a better gamer as well. And I think that as far as, you know...
4K ain't gonna make you a better gamer. 4K looks better, yes. But I assure you, crap gamer, an average guy playing on a 4K monitor or whatever with 4K visual fidelity up against like a pro MLG video game player on a 1080p monitor, 144 hertz, it doesn't matter if you could see his detail better. If you're not playing at 144 hertz and you're fiddling with your dick at 130, he's gonna cap your ass before you realize what the fuck hit you. Back when the Xbox One was getting the hell kicked out of it by PS4 and the whole Xbox and PlayStation rivalry was at its height when the consoles launched, the DX12 gate happened. For those who remember and those who want to pretend they forgot, I didn't. Remember when DX12 was coming out and Phil Spencer was sitting there saying DX12 was going to be revolutionary for not only PC but the Xbox? Xbox fans lost their minds talking about how when DX12 comes, it's going to reduce all the overhead on the Xbox and it's going to become 1080p, 60 FPS, and all this other crap. And they were also talking about the fucking cloud computing or some shit. Do you remember that? All I remember is the cloud. I don't know shit about the cloud other than the Xbox fans swore to God that when the cloud got released, Xbox One was gonna blow the fucking PlayStation out of the water and even compete with PC. And I was sitting there like, I don't know what this cloud is, I don't care what it is, but I don't think this is how it works. Long story short, as you know, DX12 came out, Xbox One still sputters around. The cloud, I don't know if it ever came out. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. If it did, I sure as hell didn't notice a change in the Xbox. And on the case of the DX12, we're back to this again. DX12 is being, oh, well, you know, DX12 is baked into the console. It's going to make Battlefield run at 4K 60 FPS. That's the crap gamer saying about it, is some other game is going to run it. And once again, I have to reiterate, DX12 is not the be-all end-all. Hell, DX12 to me feels like it gets the shit kicked out of it by Vulkan. In Doom, for God's sakes, DX12 so far has been a letdown. Any game designed with DX11 that was either ported to DX12 or simultaneously developed with DX12 seems to run better on DX11, unless you're on AMD hardware, which I understand the consoles are on AMD hardware, but the gains are so minimal it's not even funny if there are any gains. That's what's confusing. So why do they think that DX12 is going to be the smoking gun in the Xbox Scorpio to take a game like goddamn Battlefield 1 that requires 2 RX 480s to run at 4K 60 FPS to all of a sudden magically just boom, you're using DX12 with me and I'm the Scorpio, we're going to find that extra horsepower that would usually need another fucking GPU to work. It's ridiculous. The only way Battlefield 1 would run at 4K native, well, it could do 4K native on the Scorpio, yes it can, but 60 FPS is out the fucking window. I don't believe it for a second. I don't know how, unless like they put everything on low. Now I wish I had an RX 480 to test this out myself, to see how it runs on low. I'll just Google it, honestly. I'm sure the information's out there. I feel sporadic, I sound sporadic, my energy is kind of like up and down because I spent hours sifting through so many forums and YouTube videos of people who are just so brand loyal. It's scary, dude. And honestly, I feel tired. Like, I have been mentally drained from the shit I have heard and read. I mean, the Xbox fans were convinced that Scorpio was going to be on Ryzen. That it was going to have a Ryzen CPU and a Vega GPU. They were convinced, and they ran around putting this misnomer out into the internet, trying to make it the gospel truth. Talk about wishful thinking. Honest to God, I think some of these fanboys, God, I can't believe I used that term, must have been reading The Fucking Secret and thought if they shouted out into the universe enough that the Xbox Scorpio would be on Ryzen with Vega, it would happen. And maybe Xbox and Microsoft are to blame for this level of just blind faith and loyalty, simply because Xbox has not sort of tried to dispel any of the ridiculous rumors. And on top of that, this gaming console has been pushed out as if it's a deity. It is like the Xbox Scorpio is going to be the most powerful console ever. Like, yeah, every console that comes out is technically the most powerful console ever. Every time Nvidia puts out a new graphics card, it's the most powerful graphics card ever. Like right now, the new King, wait, it was the 1080 Ti. Now it's the Titan XP, and then later it'll be the 1180 Volta until the Volta XP. So what'll be like the Titan XV, and then the 1180 Ti. You get the fucking picture. Every time something new comes out, so it's a fucking given it's the most powerful console. But the fact that they just kept like putting this air of divinity around it, it just sort of bewitched the mindless masses who I guess have nothing better to do than sit on the internet and just dick wave about their favorite console or brand to the other guys. For what reason, I don't know. What the hell is to be gained by you if Xbox Scorpio is the most powerful console, or PlayStation for that matter? What do you get out of it? I don't think, does Phil Spencer come at your house, kiss you on the lips, and then put some money in your pocket or something? Like, what the fuck? I mean, I'd be a shill if someone paid me, but I'm no shill for no money. $1 makes me holla, bitch. That is it for me, because frankly, this video came out way longer than I ever fucking anticipated. And for that, I apologize. I can't actually give more of a fuck than me. Rate, comment, subscribe if you so choose to. Remember to share me. Click the little notification bell for the subscriber thing. I don't know. If you don't want to, don't. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now. Enjoy your fucking life. If you like fish, eat it now. Eat fish now. Get sushi now. Just in case, you know, nuclear war happens, man. Because if it does, and I live, I'm going to cry my eyes out. Because I can't eat delicious little crabs and lobsters anymore. And that will be the real crime. Not the loss of human life. There's too many people anyway.